A recent article examines how best for the faithful to handle tough conversations during Pride Month. In an interview with our Sunday visitor, international chastity speaker Jason Evert said, "We should remember June is devoted to the Sacred Heart of Jesus." And he invited the faithful to approach same-sex attracted people with something other than gay pride or gay shame. And Jason Evert joins us now. He is an author, co-founder of the Chastity Project, and host of Lust is Boring podcast. Jason, great to be with you. First off, you say to approach Pride Month with something other than gay pride or gay shame. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, I think people who experience same-sex attractions are often led to believe that those are really the only two options on the table. You know, either hide in the closet out of fear or come out of the closet, embrace your sexual attractions as your identity and forget about God, the church, and the Bible and do whatever you want. But imagine feeling stuck in the middle there. Well, I don't want to thwart God, but I don't want to live in a closet. Is there another option? And there is, and it's called chastity. It's not about repressing your desires and pretending they don't exist, but being able to trust that God actually has a plan for your life. But people who are living this out are seen as unicorns. Like, wait a minute, you can actually experience same-sex attractions, practice chastity, and be happy? This is absolutely possible, and it's an invitation we need to extend to all.
You know, in this article, you also say that Pride Month can be a great time to talk to children or others about same-sex attraction, and you encourage us not to, quote, hide in a bunker until July comes. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, we need to understand, obviously, our primary role as parents, we're the primary sex educators, not the school, not the government, not even the church. It's our role to speak into these subjects. And obviously, we need to do it in an age-appropriate manner. Our children have a right to their innocence, and we obviously want to prolong that as long as we can. But when all these rainbows are thrown in our face and our kids start asking questions, we need to realize, okay, I don't really want to discuss this now, but maybe this is a teachable moment. I was at a department store, and my kids, the clerk there, was presenting as female, though he was male. Now, this is obviously a different issue than homosexuality, but similar. And the kid's like, you know, what do we do? How do we react? And I said, well, here, just watch me. And I said to the guy, how are you doing today? You know, having a good night? And I just treated him like a human being. And then I sat down with the kids and we had a discussion about what gender dysphoria was. I wasn't planning on discussing that with my elementary school kids, but it was thrown in our face. And now's an opportunity to learn how to respond, not only with the mouth of Christ, or I want to give them the truth, but with the eyes of Christ, the ears of Christ, to treat this person as a human being, not just some problem that needs to be debated.
Yeah, that sounds like you definitely had a teachable moment there. And you talk so often about the power of chastity. Tell us why chastity is so important, and how did you come to this realization?
Well, I did several years of sidewalk counseling in front of an abortion clinic in college, and I started feeling late. Okay, why am I meeting these women and they're having an abortion in 45 minutes? Like, why couldn't I have met her when she was 15 years old? Because if she'd learned about chastity then, she probably never would have dated this guy in the first place and end up in this difficult situation. So instead of focusing on just on the supply of abortion, I thought maybe we need to look at the demand for it, which is unchastity. And so this is a virtue that we're all called to practice, whether you're single, married, religious, and it doesn't eliminate our sexual desires. It orders them according to the demands of authentic human love. And so it frees us to love, because if I can't say no to my temptations, then saying yes to them means nothing. And it also frees us to know if we're authentically being loved. Okay, does that person actually want me, or do they only want the pleasure that they're getting from me? And so this is a virtue that doesn't end in marriage. It's a virtue that also holds marriages together. So it's something we all need to embrace.
Definitely an interesting perspective. Jason, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I would, if you've got people in your life who experience same-sex attractions, I mean, love these individuals. Don't treat them like second-class citizens of the church. You know, you might be, as they say, the only Bible they ever get to read. And so love them. Perplex them with your love. Like, wait a minute, I know that person's Catholic, but they love me? I thought those people hated us. And so let's lead in with love during this month so that they know that Christ is inviting them to intimacy, not offering them a life devoid of that. And so if you got questions on that, you know, our website's chastity.com, and we've got lots of resources for parents as well as young people and married couples also.
Jason Evert, lots to think about here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.